Hey y'all, peace and blessings. It's Sydney J. I just wanted to come on here and share something that's just on my heart today. So it's literally 8:21 a.m. I just dropped my sister off at school and it's September 20th, 2023. And as I'm driving, I'm just like having these thoughts like about the greatness of God and how he truly does sit high and looks low, how his ear is not deafened, how his arm is not too short to stretch out to us. Like, he is God. So I wanted to encourage you guys to remember that even if access is denied, even if the application doesn't go through, even if you lose the house, even if the relationship fails, even if the money doesn't come, even if you face failure, even if you don't get the job, even if you miscarry, even if you and all of these worldly struggles, all of these worldly just trials and tribulations and tests, even if you face the worst thing in your life imaginable, he is still God. God is still God. And that should bring you so much hope and joy, because if God is still God, if he still sits on the throne, if Jesus is still King of all kings and Lord of all lords, then it's gonna work out for your good. And so you need not to fear, you need not to stress, you need not to wonder, what if, how is this gonna work out for me? What am I gonna do? What am I gonna say? It's not gonna be in your doing, because the Bible tells us that with man it may be impossible, but with God, that means in partnership, in relationship with, in alignment with God, all things are possible. So we do not need to lean on our own understanding, our own strength, our own abilities, our own gifting, our own knowledge, even our own reasoning, our own intellect, our own might. No, we're nothing compared to him. And if you would just surrender, have that childlike surrender and trust for him, he can work it out. I don't believe, that it was in God's plan for Joseph to be sent into slavery, but he used what the enemy did and he turned it around for evil. So it doesn't matter what happens. It doesn't matter what you lose. It doesn't matter what you face. God is still God. He still sits on the throne. And if he still sits on the throne, you're still an heir of him. You're an heir of Christ. You have an inheritance, and you can look at your inheritance. You can look at God's will for your life and say, God, this is promised to me. Your word says you're going to work it out for me. So I'm putting you in remembrance, God, to work this out for me. And that's not to say that you can't feel anything while you're going through what you're going through. That doesn't mean that you don't have emotions. That doesn't mean that you should just be going through life, just careless and wanderlust. No, it just means that even if I go through, even if I face a trial, even if I face a failure, even if I face a setback, God is still God. He's still seated on the throne. The heavens are his throne, the earth is his footstool. He can do anything. He can do anything for me. And in the song, how it says, God, who am I that you are mindful of me? But he's so mindful of us. He knows our intricate thoughts. He knows everything about us. He numbered the hairs on our head, on your head. He knows everything about us. He literally designed us, crafted us, prepared us for good works before the foundations of the earth. And he is faithful to see them to their expected end. But you have to know that, and you have to believe that. So yeah, I don't know. I'm really charged up this morning, and I wanted you guys to be encouraged with this word, because that, I know for a fact that even if things seem to be going in an unideal way, my God still sits on the throne. And if my God still sits on the throne, I know my Abba Father, my daddy's still taking care of his daughter. I'm going to rest in his peculiar love and care for me. So yeah, that's it. That's all. I love you guys so much, and I pray that this has blessed you. And know that he still sits on the throne, y'all. Declare that over your problem. Anything that you face today or in the next couple months or in the next year, whatever, you look at that problem, you look at that situation, you say, he's still God. he still sits on the throne. I'm not putting this situation on the throne of my mind, on the throne of my heart. I'm putting God there because I know that he is faithful, just like it says in Romans 8:28, to work everything together for my good, for the good of those who love him and are called according to his purposes. So that's all I have today. I love you guys so much. Peace and blessings to you. And remember, he sits on the throne. Bye.